We're live.
Welcome everybody to the Transfer Deadline Day special. I am your host J.R. Brown. Here to me is Shane McGurk and Luco Woods. How are you boys?
Grand, no bother.
So what do you think
I'm
of
alright, thanks.
Transfer Deadline Day today so far?
Not great
Dead.
to be honest. Nothing hasn't been deal with today. Been watching all day, like pretty boring to watch.
Well,
So
what do you
it's
think
not.
about Liverpool? What do you think about Liverpool signing Preston centre back Ben Davies?
Um, that's like one of the most talk about of the transfer window at the moment. Like Ben Davis has officially signed for Liverpool, but potentially you are getting the centre back, but could be the next 2 hours or so. But the main
Yeah,
point today
Olsen
is
back.
the main point
Yeah,
today is Ben Davis signed for Liverpool. That is like the main point of the day so far.
yeah, basically. Now, right, just as I'm watching here now, we've got less than 10 hours. Jim White, he doesn't have a fucking gold toy with a dick. But yeah,
I've seen
basically,
that.
we still have to wait confirmation on Gabak to see if he completes his deal. They're saying that the fucking contract and all has been agreed. They're saying that the medical was successful. He passed his medical. We just have to wait on confirmation, and then that's Liverpool's transfer business done and dusted. We've also got some breaking news here that Everton and Fulham have agreed fees for Joshua Kimmich from Bournemouth. So that's going to be
Josh
an
Joshua
interesting.
Kimmich, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, for fuck's sake! I fucking botched it already, man. See, do you know what? I've
It's
been up
only been
since 10
2
o'clock
minutes in the
this.
fucking video. How will you
No,
know
yeah.
that straight
No,
away?
no, 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 no. Hear me out, yeah. I'm up since 10 o'clock, so I only got 2 hours sleep because I watched the Royal Rumble last night, which was a great show, by the way. And I was up at 10 o'clock, got about 2 hours sleep, and I was doing notes all day. I was trying to get all transfers, posts, and fucking story reposts and all, everything. So if I botch up, then yeah, fuck yes. But yeah, basically, right. We're gonna just talk about today's transfers, and nothing major has happened. We know that Ben Davies has gone to Liverpool. Sami Khedira's gone to Hertha Berlin. Man City have signed an 18-year-old, which we're gonna get into as well. I've got on my notes here beside me. But let's just talk about our clubs, right? We're gonna start with you, Shane. Man United haven't been very active in the transfer window this season, like in this winter transfer window. They've done all
Mhm,
that business sort of in the summer, and they've actually done that transfer business in the summer by getting Amit Diallo. So,
mhm.
you think Manchester United, should have got a signing or two, or do you just think no, like you're just happy with the squad that you've got?
At the moment, I am happy with the squad. At the moment, we're kind of right not to sign nobody because we're doing so well at the moment. Like you said, we
Mhm.
got Diallo from Atalanta, which we got him in the summer, but he actually came in this window. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in the future for Manchester United. Apparently, he scored 2 goals over the weekend
Mhm.
against Liverpool Reserve,
Liverpool's
so
looking
that's
great
good for
still.
him. Yeah, it's overall, I'm happy with United.
Yeah, and talking about Amad Diallo, you're saying there that we're gonna see him, of course, in the Manchester United short in the future for the fourth team. Can we see a glimpse of him this season? Now I know that Manchester United are still in the FA Cup. They're now gonna have more games now they're in the Europa League. So will you see an Amad Diallo coming in here? If let's say Mason Greenwood gets injured, he
Uh,
starts from the bench and kind of makes a few appearances. Can you see that happening this
Possibly,
season?
I would say yes. Like you said, he might get a game, probably in the Europa League. I don't know about the FA Cup because it's coming up to the end of stage of the FA Cup. We have the last 16 against West Ham next week. So I say he might play just Europa League matches because it's Europa League. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now we want to talk about the departures that come out of Manchester United. One of them being Jesse Lingard has gone to West Ham for the rest of the season. Do you think for Jesse Lingard's career at Manchester United is over, or can you see him, having a successful term at West Ham and possibly getting back into Manchester United's first team next season?
I don't know. I know at the moment Jesse Lingard is having some problems outside of football,
Mm.
and he's like dealing with Bali. So I think going for West Ham alone, it might be good for him. So it might be good for his mental health reasons, staying away from family and just goes for a different club, like West Ham. I know we criticise him, but the start is playing football, being lackadaisical and all that shit. But he's
Yeah,
dealing with some shit problems. So going to West Ham is good for his mental health. That's in
yeah.
my opinion.
Can you see Jesse Lingard signing for a West Ham or someone sort of kind of below or down the league, looking at the stature of that Jesse Lingard, being a Manchester United player, playing at the World Cup, the experience that he has. Do you think that, like, if he hasn't got a career at Manchester United and he can get into West Ham, let's say, current forced him, that someone down the bottom of the table, like a Southampton, might kind of snatch him up?
hmm I don't know. I believe like West Ham is probably the perfect club for him at the moment because obviously he managed by David Moyes before Man United and he actually gave him a few games. I think it was in the pre-season a couple of years ago. Actually done well, but he barely
Mm.
got into the first team under David Moyes because I think he went on loan to Brighton that season. So
Yeah.
hopefully he might get some game time for West Ham. If he does well, then possibly he might go back to and be a better person than he was before. So I hope he
Yeah,
does
yeah.
well.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, you never like to see a player, like from your team, no matter how much of a hot prospect he is. I mean, he's still a young lad. He still needs to be given a chance. But no, on a serious note, though, Manchester United now currently sitting in second place in the table. They're
Yeah,
currently 1 point ahead of Liverpool. They are currently 4 points, 3 points behind. Um, Manchester
Three.
City. Three man, yeah,
three.
3 points. So, like, realistically, I know some Manchester United fans are gonna say, like, we're gonna be in the title challenge. Is it actually realistic? But let's say going into next summer, if you get back into the Champions League, let's say, if you possibly win the Europa League or win the FA Cup and get that trophy on the hand, do you see a Jadon Sancho? Do you see those kind of big players coming to Manchester United and Ollie kind of getting, like, his team going to, go and challenge for the title again next season?
Well, Jadon Sancho, I believe this season has been shite. I
Yeah,
think
but
the reason why,
do you think that, him wanting to go to Manchester United is kind of affecting him mentally in his head that he doesn't want to be at Dortmund and Dortmund were
oh
just
yeah, yeah,
basically
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Manchester United around with the price tag.
Oh yeah, 100% because he was like the most named player from last window. Like
Mm.
at one bit he was gonna join, then the next bit Dortmund refused to want more money. Yeah, I think that's affecting his mental health as well. Like, so that's why he's underperforming. Like, if you see him last season, he was fantastic. I mean, like
Yeah.
like people say he's gonna be like the best English player in a long time. Like Manchester United were hyping him so much. I think that's kind of affecting his season. Like, but
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
know. He's still only like he's still 20. Like he has loads of time in his professional career. So he will go to a club, but I say United might go after him again, but you never know. Like,
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, right. I'm gonna touch on to Luke now. Luke, we know Manchester City haven't really done business this transfer window, but I've actually put in notes here, and Manchester City have actually put one signing in this January transfer window, and it was actually on deadline day today. It's a youngster called Catuado Ba, who was from Rochdale. He's an 18-year-old who could play left wing and right wing. He's got 13 appearances, 3 goals, and 2 assists. Now, my understanding is that he's actually gone back to Rochdale for the rest of the season on loan. Now, in your opinion, Luke, do you think Manchester City are going to go into an approach now of going out and signing more English players? Because we know that, they've, got in trouble with UEFA of getting so many foreign players and then possibly getting a Champions League ban for a few seasons. Do you think this is the direction now for Manchester City to just go and look for young English players?
Yeah, I think getting more English players is very important for our team that we try and see if we can get some more talent into the squad from England itself.
Yeah, no, I was just only thinking about that myself, and I was like, he is an 18-year-old. You know, he was actually at Palace's academy. He got released and he went to another club before he went to Rochdale. And I was looking at a goal of him against Charlton, and he does look a very, very good talent, very skillful and all. You know, he does really look a good talent. And I was only just thinking there, that's a good foundation for City to go out and get all these youngsters. You know, because you do find a hidden gem. You know, there's these youngsters that have come out throughout the years. You know, like a Jadon Sancho at Dortmund, a Wayne Rooney from Everton. You know what I mean? When you have good scouts and you go out and you look for the brightest English young players, you know, it's gonna boost up, basically your resume, as a club, you know what I mean, your academy. And you could be arguably one of the best academies of world football. It's all about going out and scouting that talent. I want to go on to touch about transfers. Was there particular transfers that you think City needed to do, or are you kind of just going like, look, listen, we don't need anybody?
I don't personally think that we need anybody for now. I think the squad is good enough as it is. I think potentially we should wait until the summer if we need to strengthen and maybe get like one player or maybe even two if we're looking for someone to boost up the squad, maybe boost up the bench.
Yeah, and I was seeing a lot of reports as well at the end of January that Diego Costa was getting linked to Manchester City after his release from Atletico Madrid. Now, Manchester City and Pep Guardiola has put faults into that rumour that, they have no connections to Diego Costa, moving to the team. But is that kind of one thing that Manchester City kind of should have got? They should have got just a backup striker, someone for a loan just in case Gabriel Jesus is injured. Like, we know how Aguero's a very, very injury-prone player. He never goes a season without an injury. And if there was in the scenario that Gabriel Jesus got injured, it wouldn't have been good to get that, backup striker?
Maybe, but in my honest opinion, there are people that can play in a sort of centre forward sort of position. I mean, De Bruyne, we know obviously he's injured for now, but he can play in a centre forward position. We've seen Foden actually play a little bit in a centre forward position, and he has actually scored a few times. So maybe Foden could be like more of our backup for now until we get Aguero or Jesus back into the team.
Yeah. And talking about the season with Shane and what he thinks Man United realistically can finish. With the way Manchester City are playing at the minute, with being top of the league, with being that game in hand, possibly going 7 points ahead of Liverpool, who are that biggest threat on a realistic basis. Do you think that this is the year Man City can reclaim that title?
I really hope so. Well, that's in my opinion, but obviously, I don't think that the season is over for us just yet. I think we've got quite a good bit to go until we can officially say, yeah, we've won the title.
Now, another thing as well, actually, is that, you want to, of course, go on a Champions League run. We know what happened last season with Leon, which was a shock to everybody, including to me. There was a few parts in that game where Man City were just very lackadaisical. If there was a scenario where you gave up your league position to be in a semi-final of a Champions League, would you take that?
Yes, happily, I would take that. The Champions League is literally one of the biggest competitions in the world, if not the biggest competition in the world for clubs in Europe especially. And if we even tried to go for semi-finals this year, that would be unreal.
Yeah, do you see Man City getting through to the final and possibly getting that fourth European trophy?
I don't know. We'd have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, that's fair, that's fair. Right, we've covered Manchester United, and we've covered Manchester City. Now, I know I'm gonna get onto my team, Liverpool, but I actually was talking to an Arsenal fan today to try and get him on the show to talk about Arsenal. Unfortunately, due to his busy schedule, he couldn't come on today. But that's one of the teams that most people have been talking about during the transfer window, and especially deadline today, is Arsenal with their outcomes. Now, we saw that, that Mustafi has terminated his contract at Arsenal. He's going to Schalke to replace Kabak. We've seen that Joe Willock and Maitland-Niles are going on loans to West Brom and Newcastle, respectively. We've also seen that Saliba's gone to Nice. Kolasinac has gone to Schalke as well on a loan. Ozil has gone to Fenerbahce, and Socrates has gone to Olympiacos. Now, I know you're not Arsenal fans, right? And I know a lot of Arsenal fans are going to be happy to see the backsides of these players. But because of the busy schedule that they're going to be in with the Europa League and possibly getting into the European spot, do you reckon there's some players in that team you should have let go?
Um, I don't know, to be honest. Like there is still a good few players that Arsenal they don't want. Uh,
Mm,
so like it's I know Arsenal fans are delighted to see Mustafi gone. You know, like he's been
yeah.
criticised quite a lot by his defending ability, but I don't know. Like so, I think they might struggle with some like Aubameyang is like in and out this season. Uh, Even though he signed a new contract, we haven't seen the Aubameyang that we haven't saw for the past 2 seasons. But
Yeah.
I think what Mikel Arteta is a process he's doing. So like Smith Rowe, for example, and Saka, they're like the two best youngsters in the team, and possibly the best players on the team. Like there still is a few average players on that team. So I wouldn't say Mustafi is the player. I know they got rid of it, but there is some players they should get rid of it.
Yeah. Now, I was just thinking, sitting down watching Deadline Day all day today, and dude, yeah, like you said about Mustafi, I mean, I reckon the likes of Mustafi, Socrates, Kolasinac, they're the type of players that kind of just go bye bye, see you later, thanks for everything, and all that stuff. But when you see likes of William Saliba, now William Saliba is the one I was very surprised about when he got
Mhm.
sent out on loan to Nice at the early stages of the transfer window. Um, he got sent out to Saint Etienne last season to get more experience because he was such a young defender. Arsenal paid 20 odd million for him. And I thought when he came into Arsenal, I was like, you know what? I think they've got a defender here because he's French, because he's tall, he's got pace on him. I said to myself, he's going to be a good defender. And I had Arsenal on, kind of near the top four, and he was one of the reasons why. So when I saw that he wasn't given a chance by Arsenal, and that he was not getting into the benches, and he wasn't getting starting the League Cup games or
Mhm.
even in the FA Cup games, I was sort of shocked because I'm like, you're starting a Mustafi who was a liability. What I mean, in defence, he makes mistake after mistake after mistake, and you've got a young, hungry French defender there who's very, very young, who needs experience to get himself better. And what I mean, you're just killing his confidence. So I disagree with that loan. I also disagree with Maitland-Niles. Now, I was talking to that Arsenal fan on Facebook, and he was saying, well, he's trying to get into positions that like he wouldn't be in, so he's not going to get regular football. And I goes, right, I suppose I know where you're coming from, but if there was a scenario where a Shaka got injured, or and Hector Bellerin got injured. Now listen, he's played right wing back before. He could play there again. I mean, he's played. He got man of the match there before against Liverpool in the Community Shield. I mean, he can play good there in that position. It's just all about look. Listen, if you're put there, you're put there. If you're good enough, you're good enough. I mean, don't moan just because you want to play in a certain position. You're playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. If you moan and you want to move elsewhere, you probably might even downgrade your career. You might go into the championship. So I kind of disagree with making those kind of going out on loan. Joe Willock, I don't really mind, and then yeah, about the others. So that's the outs, and then I want to talk about the ends of Arsenal. And they've signed Odegaard, and we've seen Odegaard in his first few minutes for Arsenal against Manchester United. Did you see any signs of Odegaard looking at it going that he's bringing something different to that Arsenal team? I'm actually
Not
gonna go with
really.
Luke. I'm gonna go with Luke.
Um, I think they definitely need someone like him in their team because he is very skillful, as we know, and he can dribble a lot, and like he's a good box to box midfielder over around.
Yeah.
But if we did see him play a few more minutes, I think that might have given us more of an impression of him as a player.
Yeah. Like, if Odegaard was to have a good stint at Arsenal, even though they haven't got the option to buy, do you actually kind of see Arsenal putting in the bid for him if he, does end up doing well for them?
Yes, definitely. I think so.
Yeah. And they also signed Matt Ryan. Now, there's a few mixed reviews about Matt Ryan, that why we signed in the Brighton player and stuff like that. But with the second goalkeeper they had before him, Runnison, he made awful mistakes against Man City in the League Cup. Arsenal fans were slating him, saying that he wasn't good enough. So they had a problem there to get a second, goalkeeper in who could be good enough to compete with Bernd Leno. And they got that goalkeeper, Matt Ryan, who we've seen on Brighton. He makes the most saves in any goalkeeper in the season. He's a very, very good shot stopper. He might not have the best reflex and all, but his position as a goalkeeper is great. Do you see Matthew Ryan, kind of, in, let's say, Europa League games, kind of competing for that number one spot?
I say so. Yeah, like Matthew Ryan is a good goalkeeper, but signing to Arsenal is a bit weird. Like when I saw it first, and I was like, "Is that Matthew Ryan for Brighton?" I saw, I was like, "Oh shit!" I thought it was a weird one, to be honest, because he's first choice for Brighton, and I haven't seen him for a couple of weeks. I don't know why, but apparently he's gone to Arsenal. So maybe I say he will play Europa League games, yeah, but I don't think he won't be number one in my opinion.
Yeah, you just don't think that he's as good enough as what Bernd Leno is.
Yeah, I think Bernd Leno's better.
What do you think, Ben?
I think Leno's on a whole different level to him, but obviously he can. I definitely think he'll play like Europa League games and stuff like that. I mean, who have they got coming up next in the Europa League? Is it?
Who have we got actually? Benfica.
Oh.
I think they might play one leg with him and then maybe play the other with Leno if they're struggling.
Yeah.
But if they do need to play like easier teams, like say for example West Brom, Sheffield, Fulham, I think they could definitely put him in between the net for those games. Obviously, he can't play for Brighton because it's in his contract because he's on loan from there, I think.
Yeah. Right, we've got on to the three different clubs. Let's get on to Chelsea now, and we've seen that Tomori has gone to AC Milan on loan for the rest of the season. He got his first win for AC Milan against Bologna there on the weekend, 2-1. But the main talking point for Chelsea is that Thomas Tuchel is the new head coach since Frank Lampard got sacked. So I'm just wondering from the both of you, we're going to start with Shane first, how do you think Thomas Tuchel will be like as a Chelsea boss?
I say he'd do well. I think his structure is probably better what Frank Lampard done. Frank Lampard keeps rotating players with no tactics. That's probably the reason why he got sacked. He kept rotating players. I think Thomas Tuchel might do a better job than Lampard. He might give Timo Werner, the confidence of Kai Havertz. Obviously, they're both German. And I know he worked with Christian Pulisic before with Dortmund. So he knows Christian Pulisic very well. And surprisingly, he's given Callum Hudson-Odoi a chance, which is good to see because didn't even get a chance with Lampard, which is very surprised.
Yeah, he's kind of
But
it was in and out of him, in and out of him.
yeah, in and out. But Thomas Tuchel is like giving him a chance, and I think that's good for him because people, rate him, think he's going to be one of the best English players. But hopefully he does well. You know what I mean? He's still young enough, but I think he'd do well. So far,
Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel is doing well. If they keep continue, then they might challenge for the title next season if they get better players.
Yeah, no, that was one of the things as well when Frank Lampard was manager. And like a lot of people were saying that, they're the next best thing that's not Liverpool and Manchester City. And it goes, I don't think they are. Like Frank Lampard, I'm not saying that because I hate Frank Lampard. I like Frank Lampard as a player, but as a manager, I just did not like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's a very good manager to get the best out of young players. If you get what I mean. You know how. They had the transfer ban last season and then they couldn't sign anybody and there was a lot of new players he brought in. You can see that he got the best out of Tammy Abraham. Like, Tammy Abraham is not, Timo Werner, but, he got double figures than what he'd usually get if he was at Aston Villa in the Championship. Then he got the best out of Mason Mount, one of the, hot prospects in English football, comparisons to him and Jack Grealish and James Maddison, who's going to go to the Euros. So he got a lot out of the youngsters from last season. But I just think he's not a very good manager of dealing with egos. When he brought in the likes of Timo Werner and Kai Havertz, it was going to take him time to gel. But because he's at a club like Chelsea and he has an owner like Abramovich who expects trophies on the bat, when you spend 250 million, he expects you to compete with trophies. He doesn't expect you to finish 9th or 8th or out of the Champions League spots because to him that's embarrassment. So he needed to go out and he needed to sack Frank Lampard, which in my opinion was the right decision. And he got Thomas Tuchel in, and I reckon he will get the best out of Timo Werner. He will get the best out of Kai Havertz and some of their players, and then probably Callum Hudson-Odoi as well. Because not to forget, Callum Hudson-Odoi for a young age is getting paid over 140 grand a week because of Bayern Munich trying to get him one of the seasons, and that's so much for a young player at his age. I'm kind of saying to myself, because he's got that money, he's not going to be hunger, to get stars for Chelsea and stuff like that. And I didn't see it when he played for Chelsea. But if Thomas Tuchel believes in his ability, then he might turn him into a world-class player. I want to try and get at with the defence for Chelsea. Now, that's one of the issues I said about Chelsea not competing for the title was the defence. Where in the defence do you think they should, sign next season if they want to go out and challenge for the title?
Centre back, right back.
No, but like left back is Ben Chilwell because he's only a newly, signed player. I think centre back, you know what I mean? Like Reece James is still a young lad. Like people are 50-50 about him. Look, I think he's still a good kid. You know what I mean? He is very, very good at going up and down. Like he works his socks off. I just think, in my opinion, like I get why they signed Thiago Silva, but I wouldn't have made him my main centre back signing. Do you get what I mean? I would have had him, but I would have had another quality centre back in like another Mancano or someone along those lines. You know what I mean? To kind of rub off Thiago Silva, to learn from him, to be a better defender. Because I know people are saying about Courtney having a good season, but I don't really rate him. If he's getting loans out to Stoke and if he's getting loans out to Everton and all that stuff, he's not good enough. The only reason why he's been getting games now is because he was stuck at Chelsea last season, so Frank Lampard had to use him. If Chelsea didn't have a transfer ban when Frank Lampard was manager at Force, he wouldn't be at Chelsea right now. So that's the reason why he's at Chelsea. I personally don't think Kurt Zouma is good enough. With other centre back, Christensen, I don't think is good enough, but Christensen's a very good, backup. Like Kurt Zouma as well. He could be a very good backup, but you wouldn't like them to start him. So that's one of the things that, Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel will have to do. And look all pink, it's the fucking telly. Fucking hell. But look on pink face. But yeah, that's one of the positions they need to sort out in the summer if they want to go out and challenge for the league next season and challenge for everything, is to get a centre back and possibly another midfielder, because I don't think Jorginho is good enough either. So yeah, that's what I'm going to touch on Chelsea. Right, I'm going to touch on to Leicester. Now Leicester, they were going after Ainsley Maitland-Niles, but Arsenal didn't want to sell well, one of their players on loan to a rival who's competing for the top four. So what he done was he just gave him to West Brom. Now, Demarai Gray has gone to Bayern Leverkusen for £2 million. In your opinion, Luke, do you think that's a very ideal move for him to go to Germany and to make himself a better player, like a Jadon Sancho?
Yes, but it also feels a little bit weird.
Why is it weird?
Because we're seeing what Jadon Sancho can do. He's been there from City for a few years now, and he's just such a talented player, obviously, for Dortmund. But if he can do similar to what Sancho is doing for Dortmund, then I think Demarai Gray could be very good for them. I mean, he's still 24 as well, so he's
still a young
going to be
age.
moving on into still going to be moving on into his prime very soon.
No, I get that. But in terms of departure coming in for Leicester City, even though they lost 3-1 to Leeds there on Sunday, which was a bit of a shock to everybody, and people are saying, well, are they going to be possibly out of the top four race, and they're going to bring the likes of Arsenal and Sports and everything and all in. Everyone is saying everything, but do you honestly think that Brendan Rodgers has a team good enough to get to the top four? Should he have made a signing or two to join the look, listen, I want to bring this team back into the Champions League for the second time. Do you think he should have made a signing or two, Shane?
Could you repeat that question again?
No, I was just saying, do you think Leicester should have made a signing or two to get them back into the Champions League?
Yes. I say they could have signed at least two players. Like Jamie Vardy is out injured because he has a hernia operation. They're lacking with a clinical strike at the moment. I know Harvey Barnes can do that job, but he mostly play on the left. I think they should have got another midfielder. Like they were saying, they want Eriksen on loan, but I believe his wages was too much for him. So
as well, sorry to interrupt, saying Eriksen is staying in Inter Milan as well, so he's not going anywhere in the transfer window.
But Leicester are doing well this season. Yes, they lost to Leeds. Don't forget, Leeds are still a very good side at the moment. Even though they can concede a lot of goals, but they're very good, going up front, But I think that was an off day for Leicester yesterday. But I think, I say Leicester will probably get into the top four this season.
You reckon so? You reckon Leicester will get into the top four? The team's good enough?
If Vardy comes back in time, yes, they probably, a dangerous team to play against. But at the moment, they're missing the Vardy.
Vardy's cause a big miss for them. He's the one that provides the goal. So, Kelechi and Nacho, is not good enough. He's just another backup player. If he's there, Jamie Vardy's injured. Then again, you kind of need that other goal scorer to kind of go, look, listen, you're the insurance for basically our main striker not being there. But me and Nacho's just not good enough to play in the Premier League, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We've touched on to Leicester. Let's go down to the lower teams. Let's go down to West Brom. Now, West Brom has surprised a lot of people, in this transfer window, signing the likes of Robert Snodgrass. I've seen there that Arsenal have agreed the loan fee for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, which is a brilliant signing for West Brom.
Yeah, that's just
Do you think these signings, Luke? And I think they've got a Celta Vigo player as well. I don't know who it is. I forget his name. But he's a Turkey international.
Slew.
Yeah, but do you think the signings that Sam Allardyce has made is good enough to put them survival? To not get relegated.
It kind of depends how well they play, but at the same time, we don't know much about OK or Koslu. He hopefully could be that sort of rock in their midfield to be the strength that they need, because they're not really the best in midfield. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is a great loan signing for them. I think that's a very good loan signing, in my opinion, because he's still young. He's come from a top team that is Arsenal, obviously. Who else did they sign? Robert Snodgrass, did you say?
Robert Snodgrass from West Ham.
Yeah, I think we know what he can do. He's been at a few clubs now, so he'll have that experience in the team.
Yeah. Do you think though those signings will put West Brom out of relegation zone and possibly survival?
Like, here's the thing: we know what Sam Allardyce can do. Like, he's never ever been relegated with a team.
No, he hasn't. That's why they brought him in. Even though I disagree with this Slaven Village sacking, I understand in a way because like it's Sam Allardyce. He's got a reputation for keeping people up, or teams up even.
In my honest opinion, I feel this could be the first time he's getting relegated.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, I just
because I don't think the team is that strong enough. Even with those 3 signings, I think they should have maybe got one more.
Yeah,
maybe like a backup sort, maybe like a striker, maybe like a winger. Even they could have put in.
Yeah, like the thing is about West Brom, right? No matter how much signings they make, I just think the football is not encouraging enough for them to survive. Like when Liverpool played Fulham, right? Now Fulham's one of the teams I have relegated at the start of the season. But when I saw Fulham play against us, it's like they were like showing bravery. They were up for it. They were showing something. They played a style of football, and Liverpool were kind of like going, "What the fuck?" They didn't expect that from Fulham. So they're showing signs, of a good team. So they got a good result against Liverpool. They were very unlucky against Man United. They got a great result away at the new White Hart Lane. So Fulham are picking up these results against the big teams. But not only just that, they're playing some, good football and they're showing some good signs. Well, I think West Brom, on the other hand, the Sam Allardyce football of just hitting along and hoping for the best. Listen, it worked for, the Liverpool game. But ultimately, they got smashed by City. They got smashed by Leeds. And they only got a 2-2 draw against Fulham there on the weekend. Now, I mean, it's just not, encouraging. And he's not an encouraging manager anymore, Sam Allardyce. It's not Sam Allardyce when he had JJ Okocha and fucking Fernando Herrero, back in 2004 when he had Bolton near the fucking UEFA Cup places. This is not 2004. This is 2021. Football has changed. And Sam Allardyce has changed as a manager. And I just think, like you said, Luke, I think this is the 4th year he gets a team relegated because just the football he plays is not encouraging enough. And there's a reason why West Ham and Everton fans wanted them out of their clubs, because the football is just not encouraging. So that's just my opinion on West Brom. But look, I even covered Fulham as well. Like Fulham, I think have a chance because of the the current results they're getting and the fucking desire and all to play and to give it their all, and they're getting defeated but they're being unlucky, but they're not getting smashed and humiliated like West Brom is. Another team I want to actually go on about that didn't really make much transfers was Sheffield United. Now Sheffield United are bottom of the league. They were the worst team to start in the first 19 games. They got a shock win against Manchester United at Old Trafford. And I know I love that, Shane, and you are sick about it, mate. Yeah. But now listen, right? Even though Manchester United were so bad in that game, do you think that was a foundation for Sheffield United to just go, right, our season starts now. We're going to go out, we're going to try and survive, our absolute hearts. Play our absolute hearts out for the next 19 games to try and survive in the league. Even though they've got a big margin, they've got about 11 points behind 17th place. But listen, the way the season is going, anything is possible. So do you think it's possible, Shane?
I say yes.
Because you watched the game, that's why I'm asking you.
I think they're going to get relegated, but I believe they won't give up. They're in for a fight. Every game is like a cup final for them, starting from right now at the moment on towards May. I believe they will do well, but in my personal opinion, I think they get relegated because the teams they're going to play against is going to be difficult. So,
Yeah. No, I get that. Like they were one of the teams I thought should have made business. You know what I mean? We're gonna get onto that as well. Of who had the best transfer window and who which team in our opinions should have got into the transfer market and signed some players. But in my opinion, I'm going to start off is that Sheffield United should have, made a sign on that too because there is some good players there, but I just think that ultimately there's players there that are not good enough, like an Ollie McBurney and stuff like that. He's not going to get you goals. I know Ryan Bruce is young, but he needs time to settle into a new team and to play regular. So, I mean, he needs to be in the team for a few years to, kick on. What was I going to get at now? I mean, we've got on to, Fulham, West Brom, and, Sheffield United. I mean, three of the teams who most people would predict to, go down at this stage. But what about Newcastle now? Newcastle got a great win against Everton. I mean, they got a brilliant win against Everton. And they've got Joe Willock now on the loan till the end of the season. Even though a lot of Newcastle fans want Steve Bruce out, do you think he still might possibly get them relegated, or do you just think the other teams are just worse, and that's why he won't get relegated?
Well, I know Sheffield United are the worst in my opinion, but I believe they will stay up. Do you know what I mean? Like at the moment, they're not playing the best of football. I think Alan St. Maximin is back, which is absolutely fantastic for Newcastle because he's like one of the best players for Newcastle, and he made a difference coming on Saturday against Everton. Callum Wilson done well on Saturday, scored 2 great goals. Could have got a hat trick, but the most important for them is a win. So I believe if they keep playing like that, I think they'll stay up.
Yeah. Do you know what, right? I know this is a transfer special for the people that are watching. Thanks for the 3 people that are watching. I already probably know who they are. But, get those comments. We'll try and get, some comments to be answered in the last hour of the deadline day. And, we'll answer them definitely. But, I know I'm getting onto, the match reactions of all the matches throughout the weekend. And one of the matches I want to actually try and get onto now is Crystal Palace versus Wolverhampton. Now, Wolverhampton are on a bad run. Like, they are on a deep run. Like, they have dropped down to 15th now because of that loss against Crystal Palace. Great win for Crystal Palace. Lovely finish from Eze. I mean, he looks a talent for them, and he has a bright future. But what has gone on with Wolverhampton? Now, I know that the players are going to feel down because basically the best player.
Sorry to interrupt you. This is just literally came in. Southampton close to signing Minamino on loan from Liverpool.
Oh, fuck off! Really?
Yeah.
Have they really done? Is that really happening?
Southampton could be getting Minamino on loan. I just got the notification.
Bernard's going to Al Sinir has fallen through. Okay. No, listen, we'll get back onto that now. But, we'll get back onto that now, right? But I just want to talk about Wolves at the moment, right? Because I think we've got Wolves, and then I think we've got another game to cover. And then I think we're going to go straight into transfers. We're going to go just talk about transfers throughout the whole lot of this, right? But what has happened to Wolves? Like, I know Raul Jimenez has, got injured. He's our best player. And I know a lot of, players are going to feel upset because it would have been, a life-threatening injury and he wouldn't have played football anymore. But I just want to, hear from you, Luke, right? Now, you've been a fan of Wolves and, you've liked some of that players like Adama Traore and even, watching, City play Wolves and even the times that Wolves have been City, you were very impressed by the way Wolves have played. But what has gone on to Wolves?
I honestly, my mind's blown with them this season. They literally have been terrible. I think Raul Jimenez was partly the reason why they got into Europe last year because he is on another level within that whole squad.
Yeah.
But people that surprised me, Connor Cody. I mean, what's happened with him? Rui Patricio, Matinho.
Freaking. A lot of players there who are not, like, they're good players, but they're not playing well at the minute.
I mean,
one season wonder, people are saying.
Yeah. And he scored a hat-trick against us last year. They done the double over us. Like,
It's like they were going, like, they had a brilliant season last season,
if they keep going like this, it wouldn't surprise me to see them be like maybe the third team to get relegated, possibly, and that would be a
I
surprise.
don't think they'll get
but
relegated
that could be a
because they'll still
possibility.
wake up and realise they won't
Wolves
get
fans,
relegated.
I'm sorry, man, but
No.
like there's got to be
Wolves fans are
controversy
not
in
going to
this
watch
field.
unless
Jesus Christ.
if Wolves fans are watching after this stream, like goes into the YouTube channel after it goes like blah 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 blah, right? At this fella and tell him that Wolves are not going to get relegated because they're not going to be. They're not going to want to collapse. They're not going to be that stupid.
Nah, listen, yeah.
You've got a talented team to at least get like into the top half.
Nah, listen, you're clapped.
Pickle.
Second of all, first of all, you're clapped. Second of all, if they keep going without Jimenez, they're easily going to
They've
get.
got William Jose from Real Sociedad.
Fuck William Jose. What's he?
He might turn out to be a good signing. He's a similar player to Jimenez, but he's just a lot slower.
Well, we haven't really seen what he can do yet, but obviously, if he tries to get like Jimenez and he does well, then maybe there is a possibility they can get back up. But like for now, they're not really doing anything for me.
Can I just say something, right? And this is my personal opinion, right? This is my personal opinion. Now, I don't like to give, excuses for any team. Any team. But you kind of have to realise about Wolves and the amount of games they have played the last 2 years. What I'm trying to get is, right? In the summer of 2019, they started their season with a Europa League qualification match, right? Where they had to play in the third qualification round. And they made it all the way to the quarterfinals. They had to go through the whole pandemic, finish off the season. They had to go to Germany to go and do the Europa League. And then basically, in about, I think it was 7 weeks, 6-7 weeks, they had to go and train for the next, the first league game of the season. You know what I mean? And I don't know who it was because I'm not a Wolves fan. I don't really keep up with, the results and their team. But you need to realise, last season, Wolves played a lot of games because they were in the Europa League. They had to start off from the third Europa League qualification match all the way to the quarterfinals. So they had to go through a pandemic as well. Now, in my opinion, Jimenez or not, I think they would have been still in the same position they are in because the amount of players that are going to be, getting injured, pulling, getting just tired and stamina and all getting fucking low, and they're going to just not feel that hunger anymore. I can see in the Adama Traore, like, Rob Holding put him down and goes, why is he falling down? He's a fucking shithouse. You can see it in Wolves' team. Like, they're just not... Sorry. They're just not there. Do you get me? They just don't want to, kind of go for every ball and stuff like that. They're just not hungry anymore. And I just think that's the problem because they played so many games last season. It's caught up on them this season. And they have to kind of just wake up and realise, like, oh shit, we could be in a relegation battle now at the end of the season. We have to try and get some points to survive. Because I know that Wolves fans weren't going to, you probably did say we'll finish 10th or 9th and all, but we won't get to Europe because the amount of games they played last season. But they'll take a 30 and 12 position and go next season where Raul Jimenez, starts, getting back with the first team and you get some signings in. They'll go next season. I just think this season's a bit of a blip for them, and I reckon they'll get a bit back of form. But it's up to the players and it's up to the manager as well to get them players going. So that's what I think about Wolves. Right, I think I've covered all the match from the weekend. If I didn't, then your team is shit. Right. We want to get on to...
Well, you're getting death threats tonight.
Right, we want to talk about transfers now because this is a transfer deadline day special, and we want to talk about transfers now for the rest hour and 10 minutes that we've got left until the transfer window closes. Right, so in your opinion, lads, now I'm going to go first, but I'm going to get your opinions first. Who had the best transfer window out of all the Premier League teams? And I'm going to go first. I think the best team who got the transfers right and is going to benefit them, going on to the second half of the season, in my opinion, call me boys cunt, It's Liverpool. And here's the reason why, right? Because Liverpool needed to get a centre-back in. No, listen, Liverpool need to get a centre-back in, before the window shut. Because we've already got 4 centre-backs out injured. If we didn't sign a centre-back here tonight, they'd be uproar on why we didn't get a centre-back and why FSG didn't go out and pick money out of their pockets to fund Klopp with a centre-back. Luckily enough, they did tonight. But that's how important it is to us at the moment. We want to challenge for that league. We want to retain our league back. And we needed to get some sort of centre-back. Yeah, people are going to laugh at us. What are you getting the Preston centre-back for? Yeah, you won't be laughing when he scores a header and he wins the winner and he wins us the Premier League at the end of the fucking season. You won't be laughing then. And then fucking, what's his fucking name? Ozon Cackback or Cockback. Yeah? He's got probably a big cock like Divock Origi. He's 20 years of age. People saying he's coming from 20th place Schalke. Oh, he's conceded 40-odd goals. Paul Merson there. Oh, I'd give his agent a nighthood. Shut up, you alcoholic. He's a fucking dickhead, that Paul Merson. Because you know what? He signed Andy Robertson, Shaqiri, Ronaldo from relegation teams, and he put them Premier League winners. Because that's how Jurgen Klopp does it.
Jamie,
no, shut up.
But
No, what? What?
I'm after just seeing we got a question in the comments from Drop Up, and he says, "Yous won't though." I think he means by winning the league.
No, but listen, right? All jokes aside, right? See, the thing is, right? If we didn't sign a centre back, I'd be scared. I'd be scared of possibly not even making top 4. Right now, I know that the Fabinhos and all would be coming back. But how many times have they been injured this season for Liverpool? About 2 or 3 times? I would say Matip has probably got injured about 4 times. You know?
Yeah.
So we'll have to rely on fucking Jordan Henderson and Nat Phillips to be basically our 2 centre-backs for the rest of the season. Look, listen, they did good against West Ham. You can have a great game against West Ham. But when it comes up to the Man Cities and if it comes up to the Chelseas, they're going to have a tough time. So we needed to go out. We needed to get 2 centre-backs. And the 2 centre-backs we got in here now. Now, look, listen. Are we going to win the league? My heart says yeah, but my head says no. Because of the way Man City are playing at the moment. I'm very, very scared of Man City because of how good they're playing. I think if we go out there and we get a win against Brighton midweek and Man City get a win, then the game next Sunday is going to be massive. It's going to determine who's going to go on and win this league. If Liverpool go out and win against Manchester City, now that Manchester City have to, go out and get a big win, even though they haven't won at Anfield in years, it's going to be a huge U-turn in the title race. People are going to start believing again about Liverpool going to win their 20 league title. They're going to be back in the title race. This is going to be City's, drop off. There's going to be a lot of people thinking, of those things. But it's up to Liverpool to grow and get that win. What?
Sorry, just to disturb you there, Jamie. You do have a question saying, your thoughts on Liverpool signing Ben Davies. We have another question, but I want you to answer this one first.
Right. I'll answer the 2 questions after I talk. I know what the 2 questions are, but I will get to them, right? It's going to be a tough game, for Liverpool. But if we do win, I honestly think we are literally right back in the title race. I have more belief than we will. But my head does say Man City is going to get a result. I know, but it's just the way Man City are being played. But we'll have to see how, midweek games turn out, and we have to see how our new centre-backs and all turn out to be for us. Yeah, right. And my personal opinion, Liverpool, what do you think, lads? Shane, I'm going to go with you first. Who do you think had the best transfer window out of all the Premier League teams this season? In this transfer window, sorry.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. I'll say Liverpool. Because obviously you need a centre-back badly, Van Dijk and Joe Gomez out injured. 2 very bad injuries. I think you've done well tonight getting the centre-back. Potentially, you could get another one in the next an hour or 5 minutes or so. But, yeah, I think Liverpool probably the only team for me who've done the best business. Yes, West Brom done actually good, but it's mostly loans and stuff and all that shit. But Liverpool done probably the better because they need a position that they need most, and they got it. So potentially they could get 2 by tonight.
Great analysis, Shano. Luke, who do you think?
Before I get into it, we actually have a question from Drop Up again saying, this is a question for Shane. Your thoughts on United signing no one, really?
We didn't have to sign anyone in the this transfer window.
Ahmed Diallo is actually a new signing. He's just
Yeah,
playing for the under this.
I know. Yes, I
Yeah,
know.
Ahmed
But
Diallo's kind of new.
we done that deal in the summer, and yes, I know he's a great youngster. Hopefully he does well in the future. Look, as a United fan, we're quite happy with our squad at the moment. Yes, I think the summer would be different because I probably talk about that in the summer because I don't want to talk about that right now. But more focusing us at the moment as a team, we're playing great. Yes, we didn't play well on Wednesday against Sheffield United. Drew 0-0 against Arsenal. Should have won the game. 2 great chances by Cavani. Should have won, but that's football. We just move on. I know we've a very tough game tomorrow against Southampton. If we win tomorrow, then good chance for us to get back to the title race.
Okay, fair. Right, I'm going to answer
before
the
we get
questions
into
now,
it,
Luke. No, Luke, listen. I'm the host. I'll look at the questions and I'll answer them. And if anybody has a question, lads,
Excuse me.
you know what I mean? But I want to try and get your opinion on who got the best transfer window of all the Premier League teams.
Liverpool done the best done.
You actually think that?
Yeah.
You just said that so we can get straight into the comments. You're a wanker. Right, we're gonna go straight into the comments. Right, Mr. X, sorry about that, mate. I know you've been asking us questions and all, but you're saying thoughts on Liverpool signing Ben Davies. In my opinion, I think it's a decent signing because he's actually a left-sided centre back where we don't actually have all our centre backs are all right-footed players, so they'll fit on the right. Now I know Van Dijk plays on the left. But because he's injured now, we haven't got really anybody there who'll feel comfortable, other than probably Fabinho. But Fabinho's been playing more on the right, so it'd be more of a Matip or a Henderson on the left. So we kind of needed a left-sided, left-footed centre-back, And look, listen, Ben Davies only costs us, 1.6 million. He's a 24-year-old. He's somebody as well. And there's one thing as well people don't realise. He's been playing games for Preston this season. And I actually like that Liverpool have gone out and got a player who's been playing for the club this season. They're not going out and getting a centre-back who's sitting on the bench for a team and haven't played a game since, last season. And that's what I really liked more about that signing is because he's played for Preston. And yeah, I know Preston are, not in a great position. They're in the playoff place. I think for them, any Preston fans here, is a great position for them to get to the playoffs. But I just think, me personally, we needed the centre back, and he's a left-sided centre back, something that we haven't, got. It's ideal, and I'm actually happy with the signing, Mr. X. So thank you for that question. Right, Drop Up says, took you 30 years, and you won't now. It's going to be another 30 years. No, mate, it's going to be another year because we're going to retain it. We're going to retain it, mate. Right, Shane, thoughts on the Man United? You already questioned that. Mr. X, that J.R. Brown fella sounds like one angry Liverpool supporter. Do you know what? No, it's not. I'm only angry if, we lose and stuff like that. Do you get me? If we were to lose the game and all, I get angry and all. But I'm a passionate Liverpool supporter. I done this. We've done this to try and talk about football and not be neutral. But when that Liverpool inside you that comes out, it came out there when I was talking about the best team in the world. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm not usually that angry. I'm just trying to be neutral. Drop Up says, what do you think of Martial's performance lately? Do you know what? I'm going to go to that for Shane because he's a Manchester United fan. What have you been thinking of Martial's performance lately?
Lackadaisy. You know what I mean? He's not fucking... last season, he was scoring a lot of goals. That's what we want as a Manchester United striker, gets goals after goals. But this season, that's not the case. I think at the moment, he's not what he was last season. I honestly don't know. He's not playing well at the moment. But that sometimes in football, you have one bad season. That's the game. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully next season we will get better. Like, I believe I was watching Stratford Paddock, I think it was a couple of days ago. They're saying now
Jesus Christ.
Rashford and Martial are now coming up to their mid-20s now. And they're saying, like, that they're going to be more mature. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? That they're still young at the end of the day. I think just having an off season. That's it. That's the reason why Cavani is doing a better job for him, and he's only 33. So, yeah, I think it's an off season for Martial, to be honest.
Yeah, right. We've hit the hour mark now in this live stream, and we've literally got 1 hour left of the deadline day transfer window. And yeah, lads, it's gonna be interesting. There's a lot of transfer deals that's going on. And before we do that, actually, I'm gonna get a special guest. Oh, and breaking news: Liverpool have signed Usan Gakbak or Comeback. From Schalke
Yeah,
on
just
the
seeing
loan
that now.
with an option
Yeah,
to
come
buy.
back. That's just come
And
up for me now.
yeah, Liverpool have got their 2 centre backs. I'm delighted with that.
There we
Right,
go.
hold on.
Told you.
There we go. Indeed. Right, I'm gonna get a special guest in here. Just send them a link. I
Yep,
think
it's
he's
just
watching
come
this
in
now, so
now.
he will get that text message.
Mr. X has just said quality channel, lads. So thank you very much, Mr. X.
Oh,
We
nice one,
appreciate
Mr.
it.
X. I hope you
Nice
subscribe,
one,
mate.
Mr.
I hope you
X.
subscribe.
But what about Mr. Y and Mr. Z?
Well, I'm just gonna we're just gonna guest here. Hold on, give me a sec.
In your opinion, Jamie, are you happy with the 2 signings he just made?
Of course, because we needed 2 centre backs. Not we needed a centre back, but just to get 2 centre backs just for more options.
Yeah.
I'm delighted with the 2 points, and it's not even that as well. Kabak was someone actually we were linked to in the summer when we saw Dejan Lovren, but we didn't get him because Klopp believed, that we were good enough with 3 centre backs, and if any of our centre backs got injured, Fabinho could slot in centre back, so he was our 4th option, and. Yeah, like I'm delighted with the signs. I'm absolutely delighted. And yeah, listen, Kabak is 20 years old. Now I mean, a lot of people in Germany are saying great things about him, even though he is 20th with Schalke and have conceded 40-odd goals. But listen, he's young.
Yeah.
He can learn. I mean, we all have bad games on bad seasons, stuff like that. All you have to do is just learn. And I reckon
Yeah.
he'll be a good player in the near future. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I don't see him getting into the first team when the likes of Virgil now comes back. But he'd be definitely around, the first team without a shadow of a doubt.
Give me a second.
I'm going to say I've heard quite a bit about this Ozan Kabak fella, and I'm going to tell you, he does look like a pretty decent player.
No, he does.
Yeah,
He's young, 20 years old, obviously. And
He's 6 foot. I think he's 6 foot. I think as well. So it's not too small, but it's not bad like height.
it's
for a
kind of
centre-back.
average.
Hold on, boys. I'll be back in a few minutes.
We do. Oh, actually, I'll wait for Shane to get back because we do have a question there, but we'll wait.
Right, hold on. We've got a special guest here. Here we are. Hold on. How do you get him on here?
You got to send him the link.
There you go. Here he is. Ciarán Gawley. That's the story, pal. You alright?
All good, all good. Well done so far, guys. Really
I
good
love-
show. Really enjoying it.
Nice one, thank you. I love the top, man. I'm very jealous.
Had to be done.
Had to be done. Do you know what? I'm looking for that. The long sleeve ones that the players are wearing.
Oh yes, nice actually.
Yeah,
Like a light red
literally.
one, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, the really tight one. Yeah, and
Yeah,
looking for that
nice.
everywhere, but I can't find it. But yeah, Ciarán from Unified Champs, we have his Twitter, his Instagram, and his YouTube down in the description, everybody. So if you want to give this man a subscribe and a follow, it's right down in the description. Right, he's an avid Liverpool fan, and I just want to ask you, the first question I want to ask you is what you think of Liverpool's business in the deadline day.
Well, personally, I'm absolutely delighted. We needed defenders. They've got 2 in. Personally, I didn't think at all they'd get anyone in the way things were looking. But after Matip got injured, Fabinho got injured as well before, I think it was before the Spurs game, things were looking bad. And I think that's when Klopp just said, look, I've had enough. You need to back me up here. You need to get someone. I know when they signed Davies, he actually said that's the last place they thought to be looking in the Championship. But like, he seems a quality player from what I've seen of him, Joe. We've only been looking at YouTube clips. That's all he can do. I'm not going to say I've ever heard of him before that, but he looks like a comfortable player. You know, you can usually tell by a player's body language when, even just from a clip or something. You know, he looks confident on the ball. He looks like he loves to tackle as well, which is good to see. And just hearing the Kobach news now, I'm absolutely delighted because he seems like a confident lad too. And a lot of Schalke fans are actually annoyed that he's leaving too. So hopefully they can do the business for us.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Like you were getting on the topic there about like you don't really know much about the two players, so you have to go on to highlights. And I was only just thinking there about the signings, and people were going out and saying, "Oh, Liverpool are panic buying because it's deadline day." I don't really think that's the case because I reckon during the deadline day that we had 4 interests, and one of them was I think it was a Braga centre back. And one of them being from Marseille, it was like Dijonette Carr or something like that. He was a Croatian international. So I reckon Klopp, after the West Ham game, would have been looking at the 4 options, and he would have been looking in, and he would have been looking at the amount of appearances he played and stuff like that. Because I just said it to last year before you came on. Klopp is not like a manager who would just get a player that's sitting on the bench at a club who hasn't played a game in over a year and just go, right, you come in and try and play in our bench. Do you get me? He wants to try and get a centre backs in who are playing for their clubs, who are not rusty and that are match fit and ready to go and play for the team. But listen, they're not going to hit the ground running, but they're going to go in and they're just going to try and get settled in for the team. So I'm only just thinking there, right? Do you think we could have got better? Like, do you think we should have got better, or do you just think like, listen, like we got what we got, and we'll just move on to the summer, to get a proper centre back?
I think the summer will be the time. Just talk of Upamecano from Germany, players like that. But I think in a January transfer window, you're kind of lucky to get anyone, to be honest, because teams are settled. If you look at Schalke, they're like fighting for their life in the Bundesliga at the moment. So the fact we've probably got their best centre back is actually mental when you think about it. And the deal as well, we've got him on a 6-month loan, no obligation to buy at all. So if this lad flops, John, we don't have to throw 30 million at the end of the day. So I think it's an absolute brilliant deal. And the fact as well, we've after deciding Mustafi's fate without even owning the player. We're forced Schalke's hand here to go buy Mustafi so we could get Kobach. So it's just genius work from FSG and from Michael Edwards, to be honest. They've been playing chess here, and I think we've got the right move on this one, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that he's very good at that. He's very good at negotiating with these clubs on, trying to get the best deal. Like, you even saw on us getting, Thiago for 25 million. That a lot of people are not realizing that that's not 25 million up front. That's only like 10 million in installments, and another like 5 million every single season until his contract comes up, and then that estimates to the 25 million that the total fee is. But that's what's so good about Michael Edwards, is that he's not somebody like, other owners like an Ed Woodward at Manchester United, where if Leicester were to say, we want 80 million for Harry Maguire, he's going to jump in and go, right, we need him. Michael Edwards is kind of a director of football where he's going to look at it for the best of both, best of both worlds, to go, right, listen, we think he's that estimate, and we just think that, we can give it that in following season, and we'll just... will be great at them for the both deals. And it was like that with Timo Werner. They tried to get Timo Werner on the cheaper price because they didn't believe he was worth the 50 million release clause that he put the price tag on. So they try and get him cheaper because that Leipzig didn't want to do the deal for less than 50 million. Liverpool just had to walk out and go, listen, we don't think he's that worth. And the way he's been playing at the moment, we got out of jail there, in my opinion.
Definitely. Just consider the way Jota's hit the ground running. We brought him in. That was a shock deal. So I think Warner is a good player. I really do rate him. I really did want to see him at Liverpool.
I'm not going to lie to that.
Yeah, I think there's flashes of him. He just reminded me of Torres or something at times, watching him at Leipzig. He just had that pace about him, He's frightening pace to get in behind. And I really wanted to see that at Liverpool because as much as I love Firmino, he was starting to slow up a bit at the end of last season. And I could see him kind of dropping back behind the striker, maybe not being the all-in, all-out striker that he is. So I think Chelsea are a bit stuck now because I think they could be thinking in the summer they might have to move Werner on. We'll see how Tuchel gets out of him, what he gets out of Warner anyway. Be interesting to see.
Yeah, no, it definitely would be interesting to see. But, we were discussing there about, we would have liked Timo Werner to come into Liverpool. But there's been lots of talk about Kylian Mbappe and who, he wants to go. Does he want to sign a new contract? Does he want to go to Madrid or Liverpool? Do you think that that's a possibility for Liverpool to just go out and break the transfer record and get as a big as player as Kylian Mbappe, like basically the best youngster in football?
If you ask me straight out, I would probably say no. But this rumor doesn't seem to be going away. It's been popping up for nearly 2 years now, and apparently, Klopp's been in touch with his team, and the whole Nike deal as well. And been hearing LeBron James, he's a shareholder in Liverpool, so maybe he's been getting in Mbappe's ear as well. So you just never know. I think PSG are pretty much going nowhere because I can't see them winning the Champions League, and there's only so many times you can win the French league before you say, "Hey, what am I doing here?" There's no challenge at all in France.
No hunger anymore.
That's it. So I think if he can even come to Liverpool, he'll probably be thinking in his head, "All right, one of the best managers in the world is at Liverpool. If I go work with him even for 2-3 years, and then I can go off to Madrid or whatever," and he'll learn a lot from Klopp. He'll learn more from Klopp than probably anyone in France anyway that could manage PSG or anything like that. So I think for him it would be a smart move. And whether or not FSG will pay that much money, I don't know. I think we'll have to sell probably Mane or Salah, and personally, I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah, no, I was actually going to get onto that question as well, that if we were to get someone like a Kylian Mbappe, we will have to sign either a Salah or a Mane. And to be honest with you, the way that they're being for Liverpool throughout the years and the amount of numbers they've gotten us and the amount of big game moments they've got for us, it's kind of why would you sell them? I know you kind of want to sell players on and try and get the next big thing, for the future, but it's going to be a tough pill to swallow if you want to get that player just to sell one of your best players, and it's always that kind of thinking. But another player as well that Liverpool have been linked to a lot, and a lot of people have been saying to get this player because he's a massive goal scorer, is Erling Haaland. And as well, he won't be that expensive. He won't be looking for a 300 lucrative contract and all that stuff. He'd be just wanting there to play his football, try and win as much trophies as he can. Do you think that'd be a nice deal signing for Liverpool if Kylian Mbappe wasn't to happen?
I definitely wouldn't say no to Haaland as well. He's younger. He seems definitely more clinical finisher. Give him half a chance to punish you. When I seen him play against Liverpool, I think it was Champions League 2 years ago. The year they won the Champions League, I think it was. He played against Liverpool. And at the time, Van Dijk made him look like just another player. He's supposed to be the next big thing, but Van Dijk just made him look like another player. But since he's gone to Dortmund, he's definitely sharpened up, and he looks like one of the best players probably in the world at the moment, to be honest. He's exciting. Anytime he picks up the ball for Dortmund, you think he could score, and that's the kind of player you want in your team, to be honest.
I definitely agree. With the season that's going on now, I know we had a bit of a blip, and that we've gotten results again. We've got 3-1 wins in London against West Ham and Spurs. Even with the signings coming in, do you think this is a sign of Liverpool, back in the title race, or do you just think that City is just going to be too much?
I think City look brilliant at the moment. The first time this season I watched the full game. I watched the game versus Sheffield the last day, and I thought they looked very solid. They did enough to win the game. They're very streetwise in terms of they have the experience. They didn't go all out. They know the game's coming up against Liverpool. They kept Sheffield at bay. Sheffield were no harm to them at all. The two centre backs, Laporte and Diaz, I think they look absolutely brilliant. To be honest, I think Diaz was a brilliant signing for them. Looks very confident and strong, and just even looking at Diaz, I was thinking that's the kind of player Liverpool need with Van Dijk on, especially Gomez as well. And we needed some strength at the back, and hopefully these two signings will give us that surge, kind of to push on. I think it's going to go down to the wire this season, definitely. I think it will be Liverpool and Man City. I think United will put up a good fight. United are always getting better as well, Fernandes, and I think they probably need maybe 1 or 2 more players just to give that extra push. But the Liverpool fan in me is never give up. Keep going to the end. And I think I think we'll be there anyway. I think we'll give City a good push, and the game next Sunday will say a lot who's going to win this title.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, we've got a question here about that game, Liverpool versus Manchester City match predictions, but I'm actually going to get into the question that's above that. It says from Job, but my thoughts on United's front line would be Greenwood on the right, Rashford on the left, and Cavani in the centre. Now, I want to try and get Shane, who's an avid Manchester United fan, back into this. If you were to, pick, a midfield and a, front line for the rest of the season, if you were to go out and challenge for the league, what would be ideal? You know what I mean? And Ollie likes to change his team a lot. He never has a starting 11 where he's like, this is going to be my team going on to every single game. So if you were in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's shoes, like, you know what I mean? You have your defence, like you have your Luke Shaws, Harry Maguire's and Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka and De Gea. But you've got so many options in your midfield and front line. Who would you put in there for the rest of the season?
Obviously, the defence would be the same. The goalkeeper. I know Ollie likes to play a 4-2-3-1, which he's done that for the past number of games. I think the two CDMs I would pick would be McTominay and Van de Beek, because I want to see Van de Beek given the chance. On the left, I would play Rashford, obviously Bruno Fernandes. Mason Greenwood, debatable. Sometimes he likes to play Martial in different positions, but yeah, I would say Cavani would be up front because he gets you the goals. Like you should have got 2 goals on Saturday. But the right mid, I would say Greenwood because I think he's better on the right because he's so deadly, on the counter attack. Once you give him the balls for him, it's going to be a goal. He's so good at that, and he's such a young player as well. Like you've seen during the restart, Greenwood was unbelievable. Left foot, right foot, like what a clinical finisher, like for such a young age. Like so, I would definitely put Greenwood on the right.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Like I was even seeing a game against Aston Villa. I think he was won like 2 or 3-0, and like I saw him shoot with his left foot, and I was just like, "What's he, right foot or left foot?" You know what I mean? I was so confused, but then I realised that he's brilliant with 2 foots. But look, that's a great attacking line channel, and that's definitely a team that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should play every single week. You know what I mean? And stop changing those fucking teams. Right, I'm gonna get onto the Liverpool versus Manchester City match predictions now. I know Luke has been very, very patient in the corner there because he's an avid Manchester City fan. I'm only going to start with you first, Luke. Let's say we win against Brighton, and who does Man City have during the week? If they're playing, if you know.
I don't think we are playing.
You're not playing during the week,
You are.
No,
I don't think. Who are we playing?
I'm actually going to check it out.
Yous are playing
Burnley away.
Burnley away.
Burnley,
right?
Okay.
So let's just say, Liverpool get comfortable 3 points against Brighton. You just get comfortable 3 points, which is probably going to happen against Burnley. We go into the big game of the season. We go into Liverpool versus Manchester City. Now, we said on the chat that Manchester City don't have a good record at Anfield. They haven't won at Anfield in years, like in 2003. So you're going back there nearly 18 years since you last won at Anfield. With the current, run that he's in now, do you see Manchester City winning? What is your predictions for the game?
Anfield is a very big stadium. We have not won there, obviously, as you said, 18 years. I personally think it'll be a draw.
Right. If you were to give a scoreline, what would you give it?
1-1. I'd say a 1-1 draw.
Right, 1-1 fair. Right, Ciarán, what's your prediction if you were to give one?
These City Liverpool games, you can never predict. They're always games you just can't look away. I think it might be a high-scoring game, to be honest, because I think the fact there's going to be no crowd, I think is going to play a large part in this game. I know the game at the Etihad was a bit of a stalemate, but I think just the season was only getting started then. I think the two teams now, they're getting closer to the end of the season. The finishing line is kind of in sight, so I think I can see City really going for it because I think the crowd have a big part to play, especially in these big games. There's going to be, no cop. There's going to be no 45,000 or how many fans or Liverpool fans in the stadium. So I think City will go for it. I think they'll be feeling confident in the form they're in, but I think also Liverpool have hit the form at the right time. If we get a result against Brighton, I say, I can see a 3-3 or a 4-3 or something here. I honestly can.
Wow. I'm getting the popcorn then, Dolly. I'm getting the popcorn.
I'm not putting money on it, but
I'll have a heart attack when it's 3-3 and we score a last minute winner.
Davies on top corner.
I said it in a bit in the rant. I go, you know what? You won't be laughing when Davies scores a winner and he scores a header. I said that. If that happens, God, I'm telling you. Oh, I'm telling you.
To be honest, though.
Yeah, but right, I know you don't support either club, Shane, but it is a big game for Manchester United as well because they're actually in for the title race as well. So how would you see this game coming out, like outcome?
As a United fan, I would like a draw, but honest opinion, I think Man City is going to win because they're the better team at the moment. They're in form. I think City's going to win 3-0.
3-0? What? So,
Yeah.
Johanna, you think Liverpool are not going to score?
No, don't think so.
Why is that? Is it because of how Ruben Diaz and John Stones are playing lately?
I would say that, but like you have to think with like De Bruyne and Phil Foden. I know De Bruyne is injured. Phil Foden is good as well. I think City will be too good for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? They're in form, and yeah, like I love to see a draw, but I think City's going to win.
Right now, my prediction. Now I'm somebody.
Now,
when
before
I
you
make
say
a
anything,
prediction,
Jamie, I mean that's a bit too generous now, Shane.
Well, it was. Do you know what? 3-0. Do you know? I'm actually gonna say here now. If Man City win 3-0 at Anfield against Liverpool, I'll get a Man City tattoo. I'll get a Man City tattoo. Do you know why I say that? Because it's not going to happen. It's not gonna be a clean sheet to Man City pouring all over us. And I mean, like absolutely destroying us. It's not gonna happen. Like Man City are the team in form. I mean, they're the team that I've been watching recently. Like Golly said there as well, he watched the Sheffield United game. I watched the Chelsea game when they played at Stamford Bridge, and they bullied Chelsea. Like they absolutely, it's like that bullying kid to the nerd. That's what they done. They battered that nerd. Chelsea were that nerd, and I looked at that and go, I think City are on the up here. They are actually on the up. And when I saw us dropping points to who was it? No, it wasn't. I think it was Southampton. I think it was Southampton. I put up on Facebook then, I think City are going to run away with the league. Because I just had that feeling with the way that we were playing, that the intensity wasn't there, that Manchester City were on the up, that I just think, I think they're going to run away with it. But with the two last games, I've got a bit of belief back, but City are still winning. And it's like they're never going to stop. No matter what the scoreline is, they're going to pick up 3 points. It's like you just know what's going to happen. Like with Liverpool, with the blip that we were on, like I know we're on a 2-game win streak, but we could get a bad result against Brighton, and then Man City then would be happy jolly because they'd be like 8 points ahead of us, and they'll be walking into Anfield very, very confident. So there's many different ways that this game could go towards.
I think if you look at City's bench as well, I think that's what could win them the league. You look the last day, and I think Sterling was rested and Mendy was rested. And if you look at the list, I think I've seen on Twitter there was 5 or 6 players that were all over 40, 50 million. And as much as Liverpool have been competing, I think you can't compete with quality like that. FSG don't have that money, and they never will. So I think that will always be the uphill fight for Liverpool, really, every season.
Yeah, and it's not even that. It's kind of like Man City had their fair share of injuries as well last season when, we won the league. When Laporte got injured, he was a massive miss for them. So they had to play the likes of Eric Garcia, and then they lost to, a good few teams, and they dropped a lot of points. So that's why we won the league by a big margin. And it's kind of like us now this season, but I think we've got a more of a challenge because everyone's getting injured. And with the global pandemic that's going on, people are getting tested positive for COVID. Like Mo Salah had it, Thiago had it, Mane had it. So loads of people have been getting tested positive for COVID as well. So that's also affected our season. I just think that it's just everything has gone their way this season. They had a slow start to the season, but they've kind of realised and they've gone on the up. While Liverpool had a bit of a dip and are getting the intensity back.
Yeah.
We just have to find out, against Brighton, if we win that game, that we go into the game against Man City, that we can put it up to them and get that win to put us right back into the title race. Because if Man City go out there and win their first game in 18 years against us, then that's putting a statement to Man City. Saying that we're taking our title back. If they go out there, that will win. My prediction for the game, I'm actually going to go with a high-scoring game, but I'm not going to go with a 4-3. I'm going to go for 2-2. I think it's going to be a draw as well. I think Liverpool are going to take the lead twice. It's going to be one of them games where Manchester City just get one of them lucky deflected goals, and it gets them, that draw against, Liverpool. And yeah, it'd be a great result for United, and it'd be a poor result for the both of us, but it'll make that title race more and more interesting, and it'll get the likes of City and Liverpool for the remaining games of the season to win games and to go out and just, challenge and put Manchester United, on their place, because they don't belong in the title race. And Shane, it's fact. So, that's more predictions on the game. So we've got 33 minutes and 49 seconds left of the transfer window. Liverpool got the 2 centre backs. Mustafi is signed for Schalke. So yeah, Golly, what have you thought of the transfer window overall this month?
No massive deals really, but
sorry, my phone's just about to die.
As I was saying earlier on about January, it's the hard time to buy players, and especially with COVID. There's so many different rules. I think just especially with COVID has put a lot of people off buying, because I think I was actually surprised United didn't make a big signing, to be honest, or push for someone, because they've been looking really good, and I think they could have just needed that, that one winger or that one spark or something just to push them on a bit, because I think they might have hit stride a bit too early. So one exciting signing or something could have just spurred them on for the rest of the season and ensure they stay in that top 3.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying to Shane as well. It's sort of like they kind of done that January business in the summer, getting Amad Diallo from Atalanta, and they moved on to the into the winter window, and he made his debut for the under-23s and scored twice against Liverpool. So there's some good science there for Manchester United and Amad Diallo, that he could get a chance in the near future, and that's what I said to Shane. Can you see him in the first team, in the Europa League, possibly in the FA Cup, and he just goes possibly Europa League, but not the FA Cup, because we're in the further stage. Well, they're in the further stage.
So I think Ollie will be eager to get some silverware this season, so I think we'll be putting a lot of trust in him to play him in any big games. I say you'll see him in the Europa League or something like that. I say you'll give him a chance to develop first, to be honest.
Yeah, no, definitely. He'll definitely give him a lot of games in the under-23s, and I reckon he'll start a lot more games next season, because that's when he'll feel probably settled in. Like, it won't be the first team, but it's a smart move by Ollie, because he's getting them to play with the under-23s, and when you play with the under-23s, it's like playing with the first team. It's still the same pace football. It's just not big muscle lads that are about 6 foot tall. So, it might turn out to be a great signing for United, who knows? But from the first game, he looks really, really impressive. I even saw highlights and all, and, he does look a good player. I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit jealous. But, literally half an hour left on deadline day. Is anybody watching? Anybody want to put comments in? What are you going to say there, Golly?
I think Arsenal have done well to get Odegaard, to be honest. I think they'll be very happy with that deal. I think I've seen him play a few times for Real Sociedad and stuff, and I'd be surprised that Madrid didn't keep him on, because he is a very talented player. And I heard you talking the last day about I think it was Shane mentioned he could have went to Dortmund or somewhere better at the start of his career. Something like that I think would have benefited, because as great a club as Madrid are, they just don't have any respect for younger players, and I think going to Madrid that early is ruined them, to be honest. I think that's what Mbappe should think about too. Like, he's still a young lad himself, so if he goes to Madrid now, like, I don't know, just like Ronaldo, to be fed up with him in a few years. Come to Liverpool or another big club first, and then move on to Barca or Real Madrid. But I think Arsenal have definitely got their hands on a good player, especially with Ozil leaving as well. They need that creative player in midfield, so I think they'll be excited. Arsenal fans will be excited to see how he gets on.
Yeah, definitely. Like in the Arsenal game as well, I was very impressed with Emil Smith-Rowe. Like he wasn't really much of a threat, but that was one of the big things I said, before the game started, was how Emil Smith-Rowe will come into the game. Will he be quiet? Will he be nervous? Will he get into challenges? And you know what? He did try his absolute best. There was times and all on the counter attack. Where he take that kind of hard touch, but he get that touch back then to get the ball up for the counter attack. So he was really committing, and it's encouraging to see a young player do that, because young players out there, you get the chance on a regular basis for their teams, and you just don't care. But when you see Arsenal's youngsters, like, they've got possibly the best youngsters in the Premier League, with the likes of Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Reece Nelson. Like, they've got brilliant youngsters. Like, I'm a massive fan of Saka myself. I wanted to see him in Liverpool, But I saw the encouragement from Emil Smith-Rowe, and I go, you know what? He does look a good player. Even if he doesn't contribute in the game, at least he's giving it his socks, And listen, Arsenal fans have been crying for that kind of player, Like, with Mesut Ozil, there was times when he did play against Manchester United and he'd never torn up, He'd barely get a touch. But that was the polar opposite of Emil Smith-Rowe. He tried to get to every single ball. He was in every single different position, and I was really impressed. In my opinion, he was my man of the match in the game, even though it was nil-all.
I think it's something that's becoming more common as well. A lot of young players have a lot more swagger these days, and they're more confident. Even look at Curtis Jones and Phil Foden at the weekend, and even any time I see Greenwood play for United, they just play with a lot of confidence, and it's something I never really seen growing up. Like, players just coming straight into a team and hitting the ground running. But it just seems that they develop them different these days. They're a lot more confident, and that's really a compliment to the underage development that they go through, even just being included in the matchday squad, even if they're not going to be on the bench, just taking in the experience of being part of the senior team. And just even looking at Phil Foden against Sheffield United, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He's just dribbling, flying by players, no problem. The lad's still so young, and he has the world at his feet, to be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because there was actually one thing I saw from Roy Keane. He was talking about Billy Gilmore. Billy Gilmore got his first start last year against Liverpool in the FA Cup, and he got man of the match. And I was actually watching that game as a Liverpool fan, going, who is that kid? He's running everywhere. He's absolutely brilliant for, like, Chelsea. Who is that kid? Now, I know a lot of people are going to be cliche and say, because, he got man of the match. But genuinely, I looked at that, like, because he was so small, to the likes of a Fabinho, who was playing in midfield at the time, and he was going past Fabinho like he wasn't even there, and he got man of the match, and a lot of people were giving him praise. But one of the things Roy Keane said, and I totally agree, was let the lad play football. Don't let him go.
Sorry, Jamie, just to cut you off there. It's literally just after coming up on my screen that Joel Matip is to miss the rest of the season with an ankle injury.
Oh, fuck.
Do you know what? I was actually just about to say that.
Sorry for interrupting you, Jamie.
Oh, no, there you go, yeah. No, Joel Matip to miss rest of the season with ankle
Jurgen
injury.
Klopp has said that.
Wow.
Joe Matip's
Yeah, no, I only just saw it there because
the remainder of the season.
But here, that's the reason why we got a second centre back. It's like Klopp already knew. That's why
that's a big blow, to be honest.
Yeah, Paul Matip, though, because he is a decent defender, he's just so injury prone.
I actually think, and you will probably think I'm being biased, but I actually think when he's fully fit and on his game, he's one top 5 centre backs in Europe easily. He is so good. I think people just don't see enough of him, to be honest. But I remember even watching him a few years ago against Chelsea, and like he was just unbelievable against Diego Costa. Diego Costa was top striker in the league probably at the time. won every aerial duel, he won every ball, and I think he just brings a sense of calm to our defence. As calm as Van Dijk is, I think Joe Matip plays like he's playing in the local park or something. He's so calm, he's relaxed. Even whoever he's playing alongside, he's always so calm, and he's a great passer of the ball out from the back. And I think that's something Liverpool need when teams park the bus. Just someone playing out from the back, getting that key pass maybe into Salah or Firmino. So that's actually a massive blow, and at least Liverpool acted on it today. They've got their 2 men in, so hopefully they can do business until the end of the season.
Yeah, no, definitely no. Because looking at that news now is making it more understanding on why Liverpool have got 2. Like, we're happy we've got 2, but there wasn't of the understanding. Do you get what I mean? Like, we thought that Matip would just be coming back after his few-week injury. Now that he's out for the rest of the season, that's more understanding on why he got, let's say, a crackback and stuff like that. And even a Ben Davies, either or. Do you get me? So we've got the 2 of them. But you were saying about Joel Matip actually when you were talking there about him, how he's a very good passer, likes to play out the back, when the team's parked in the bus. What Matip does that's actually very impressive for a defender. He likes to go up to the centre of the pitch for a defender. Yeah. Like, he's very good on the ball. Like, he's got some very, very good pace. Yeah, what's up, Luke?
Sorry, just to cut you off here, but apparently I've just received some breaking news that Josh King is going to be signing for Everton.
Whoa.
And Fulham are going to be announcing the signing of Josh Maya from Bordeaux on loan as well.
Yeah, see, Maya was someone that Fulham wanted at the start of the deadline. They wanted him, and they were negotiating with Bordeaux all, let's say deadline since the morning for him. But Joshua King going to Everton, that's a very interesting signing for them. He's going to be basically back up to Cavalier, and since Czech Tolson now has gone to Besiktas now on loan for the rest of the season. I think that's a very, very interesting move for him. But I was saying about Joel Matip, he's a very good player going forward. He's very good at delivering past the midfield, and gets that killer pass like you say, and then he's very quick to come back and defend. That's one of the things I found very impressive with Joel Matip. But he can be very good when he's got a Virgil van Dijk beside him. I just thought when he first came to Liverpool, because he had Lovren beside him, it's kind of like he rubbed off, Lovren, and that's what affected his game.
But I think Lovren was just contagious.
Yeah, well, no, just even in that 16-17 season, his fourth season in the Premier League, he done quite well and all, got us to the top 4. But it was him and Lovren which were the main centre backs, and there was times and all, there was one game and all against Spurs when he was up against a Harry Kane and a Son and all that stuff, and the Dele Alli at the time, when he was playing brilliantly. He literally dealt with them very well. They were all quiet all game, and we literally won that game. And then there was a time as well when we were playing against Hull City, we lost 1-0, and Joel Matip kept giving the ball away about 3 or 4 times. And it was sort of like there's a player there, but because he's with Lovren, he rubs on him. Does he need someone better than him? And that's why we got in Virgil van Dijk, and then him and Virgil van Dijk as a partnership were just brilliant. Kept the clean sheet in the Champions League final and all.
Definitely, yeah. He was brilliant in that game.
Yeah. But that's some breaking news. Joel Matip's out for the rest of the season with an ankle injury. So, more injury problems for Liverpool.
Another injury for another centre-back.
Yeah, but like I said, that's more understanding of why we got 2. Who said about Southampton wanting Takumi Minamino on loan? That's the one thing I've been trying to look at on this deadline.
That was Shane.
Where did you see that, Shane?
Sky Sports.
Sky Sports.
Yeah,
okay.
Sky
I got a
Sports.
notification.
Oliver Ntcham from Celtic has been announced that he is moving to Marseille.
Good move for him because he's a French midfielder. That's a very, very good move for him. If there's anybody still watching, put in comments and then we'll answer them, because we're going to be wrapping this up in the next 21 minutes, because that's when the deadline's going to be over, and then that's when we're going to end the stream. But yeah, lads, I've actually fairly enjoyed the stream. What about you, Golly?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think he's been doing a great job, lads, and keep it up. Fair play to you. The start is always the hardest, and just stick with it, and you'll see yourselves. You'll keep getting subscribers, you'll keep getting an audience in, and you'll have crack along the way. So definitely keep it going. You're doing great, brilliant so far. Fair play to you.
Oh yeah, nice one, Golly, man.
Thanks.
Don't be sarcastic, you little bastard.
Oh,
But you know what? Yeah. No, do you know what? No, God, because I was only thinking there, right? I know we've got a football, channel and all, and this is the first stream you're on, and you're going to be possibly in more streams, when we do future videos. I was thinking if you wanted to do like a conversation on your channel, I mean, you get to talk about wrestling because I know the Royal Rumble happened last night, and if you've watched it, have you watched it?
I have. I watched it this morning. I was gonna try stay up, but them days of staying up till 5 in the morning, they don't happen anymore. So, I watched it this morning. I put the phone away. I tried to find out, not looking at any spoilers or anything. I managed to watch a repeat of it, and it was a good show. But I struggle these days to keep up with the new faces. To be honest, the old guys are fading out of it. So I'm trying to stay in touch with it, but it is hard. It just isn't the same anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Like that's a different conversation for another day. I mean, possibly on your channel. When we get, let's say, a Zoom call or a stream, on your channel. But like I literally watched it when I came home from work. So I got home from work and I just watched it on my phone. And as soon as the show was over, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I just go, oh no! So I literally tried to get to sleep. Woke up at 10 o'clock. Then
sorry,
I only
Jamie.
got 2 hours sleep. And I'm knackered. I've just been on the socials trying to get all the transfer updates and shit like that. So
yeah, Jamie. I'm just gonna have to cut you off there because news has come up on Sky Sports that Ainsley Maitland-Niles has signed for West Brom on loan, and that is official.
Yeah. Oh yeah, actually, Golly, that is actually true. Southampton have agreed a principal loan for Takumi Minamino. So
I'm surprised at that, to be honest.
I'm very surprised by that as well.
I thought Origi would be able to do it first.
Yeah, sure. Like Origi as well at the start, the transfer window was getting heavily linked to to Wolves, sorry. Because
Origi was getting linked to Origi, yeah.
Luke, I've got 2 hours sleep. Can you just let me away with it, please? Thank you.
No.
Like, honestly, man. I've been up since 10 doing the social. I'm very surprised Takumi Minamino has gone and got loan because like he was really good in that Crystal Palace game. Like I know Crystal Palace were bad, but he got a goal, and like when you get a goal, that like always boosts up a player. And ever since that, he hasn't played 1 minute of Premier League football.
I've seen a few people saying the last day on Twitter he must be really poor on training if he can't get in ahead of Origi. So he must be doing something wrong that they thought. I was actually thinking, I've seen Southampton actually asked about Nico Williams on loan earlier on. So I wonder if Liverpool just said you can't have him, but you can have this lad if you want for 6 months because he's not going to play for us.
Yeah, basically. See, we can't afford to get rid of Nico Williams because who's going to play at right back? I mean, he's our second right back. Unless we sell him and then we've got 10 minutes to sign a fucking right back. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be the most stupidest person to do that. So 16 more minutes until the deadline. It's been a very, very interesting. Do you know what? It hasn't been a bad deadline day. Like I know some of them have been, repeats and all of. I think. Of different deadline days, but you know what? The last 2 hours, like there's been some active like transfers, like Joshua King going to Everton,
definitely.
Ainsley Maitland-Niles going to West Brom, Takumi Minamino going to Southampton. Like we've never seen that like in a long time in the last, let's say, 2 to 3 hours of a deadline in January. I think the last time that happened was what? When was the last time that happened? Probably Torres and Andy Carroll when that happened.
I think so, yeah. That was the last one, like the most exciting one for Liverpool, anyway. Definitely.
Yeah, for Liverpool, yeah. But from what I can remember, that was the last kind of exciting like deadline day in January.
Yeah.
Like Torres went and Liverpool had to get someone like very, very quick, and then we panic bought and got Andy Carroll, and then the rest was history. No.
Do you think Liverpool could recall Harvey Elliott at this rate?
Do you know, I wouldn't. He's been actually doing very well for Blackburn. He's the top assist on the Championship. He's got like
he got
about
his haircut as well, which was good to see. The other thing was atrocious, whatever that was on his head.
Yeah, I know. Man bun. I'm going to go on Instagram now, see what's the sus.
I think after the 11 o'clock, they're going to be giving in the deal sheets as well to clubs that still need to sort out transfers.
Yeah,
but obviously will probably be gone once they are happening.
Yeah, no, because like most of the transfers are done. Like, you know, Liverpool's business is done. I reckon the likes of the Kumi Minamino and all that'll be probably one of the deals to go through on midnight or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
Willock
so,
will be the same. Yeah, Willock.
Yeah. So for anyone who is still watching, which is 3 people, if you've literally got one more question, because we are going off in 15 minutes. I mean, ask away now, because I'd like to get some questions to be answered. And I was gonna say the next stream actually is gonna be Chelsea and Spurs. Now Luke and Shane are gonna be covering that. So Shane, you're gonna be the host for that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if there's any Chelsea fans or Spurs fans that want to, get involved and want to, come on the chat and talk about the game, you're more than welcome. I won't be there because of work, but, I'll try my best to even comment and all. And I reckon, Golly, if you're free, mate, you'll try and, comment here and there, encourage the lads with that analysis.
Like, don't be afraid. We'll be there for this stream.
Yeah. So listen, even if there's any Chelsea fans or Spurs fans who are, watching this in their spare time, go out and contact, our Instagram. Our Instagram's in the description. Try and, text us on the DM. If you want to be involved and you want to try and get your opinion on the game while the game is happening, we can definitely try and sort something out, because this channel is not just about Liverpool, it's not just about City, it's not just about United, it's about everybody, trying to get everybody involved. And, that's what football is all about.
Yes, and if you check our Instagram as well, we're also covering some of the other big games around Europe and maybe even the world as well. So do check our Instagram as well in the description, and don't forget to subscribe to the notification bell as well.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. And I think we are 5 followers away for 100. I literally started the page on Saturday, and we're already on 100, and it's nearly Monday.
Yeah,
that's absolutely
That's
like,
actually
you know what,
really
God,
good.
That's the mad thing, right? I just posted up a load of stuff about Europe and all, and some women's, defender for AC Milan's women's team followed us. So I just goes, nah, that can't be real. Blue tick and all, right? And I just posted up, you might have seen it on the story. I just had it up in English, thank you, good luck for the rest of the season. And I had it in Italian so she'd understand it. And she's seen it, but she didn't write back. But, like, she seems real, so, you know what I mean? When you get someone like that to follow us, you want to try and get...
Fair play.
I'm trying to get the whole of, like, women's team players and young players and all to try and follow us and all. Because,
Just
what,
find
actually,
out,
as
see
well...
what her name is.
Don't go there. You already know what her name is.
Francesca Vitale.
Vitale, yeah.
No, because I didn't remember her name the last time.
Yeah. 11 and a half minutes left. Vinny O'Connell, where you got biggers?
Like,
it's only 2 people now. Let's see what's the starty on Instagram.
Has there been any big moves for teams in Spain or anything, or what's the story with their transfer window? Does it work the same?
Well, the
I think
big
Spain
move.
and Germany's one have actually shut down now. They are done.
Oh, okay.
Scotland's one is open till midnight, as most of us probably know.
Yeah.
Deadline day.
Yeah, like,
I'll actually look up now,
that has,
see what's going down.
yeah. So there hasn't really been like much kind of business with the top European clubs. Like you could say like PSG got Maurizio Pochettino in, so that's sort of like a transfer because they got a new manager in. Sevilla got Alejandro Gomez from Atalanta for about 10 million. So he's a great experienced player going into Sevilla.
That's an
so
unbelievable
that's the big,
signing, I think.
yeah, that's a
Surprised at
big
that. I
transfer.
didn't know that.
Yeah. He had a bust up with the manager, didn't he, lads, at Atalanta? He demanded to get
the manager,
transfer
I think.
listed.
Yeah.
He demanded to get transfer listed. He just goes, right, yeah, you're gone. And then, Sevilla put in a 10 million bid and just goes, yeah, listen, we'll take him. No, I mean, we'll give him like 80 grand a week. And yeah, he's gone to Sevilla now.
He suits Sevilla style of football because he's small and like gets the ball going passing wise and stuff. So I say he'll suit them.
Yeah, and sure, loads of South American players play in that league as well. So it'd be like playing back in Argentina for him because of the weather.
I think for a club like Sevilla as well, they need that player that's world class, and he fits that caliber definitely for the team.
Yeah.
As we know what he can do. He's really skillful. I mean, we've seen him in the Champions League many times. I mean, when I've seen him play,
well, he was brilliant against us at Anfield.
Yeah, he played very well at Anfield as well.
Yeah,
and he played very well against us, City, when we played in the Champions League. Obviously, like he done very well. So I think the league is really going to be hotting up this year, especially with Atletico Madrid doing absolutely fantastic this season. Yeah. They're definitely going to be like top contenders to win the league, I'd say, especially since they got a game in hand, so they could go 13 points ahead.
Yeah, and like to think about, right? I literally, when Suarez was leaving Barcelona, in my honest opinion, I thought he was finishing the top level. I go, you know what? Go to Ajax. I reckon that'd be a perfect league for him to go and get about 20, 30 goals. You know what I mean? Win the league there, you know what I mean? And then go back to Argentina. And, but you know what? I was really, really wrong. Like, I was really wrong. Like, that the Suarez I'm seeing now is like, it's like he's never left. I just think he just had a bad. I just think he was not in the right place at Barcelona because Barcelona are not in the right place. Do you get me? So everyone.
Knowing Suarez from his Liverpool days, I say he's on a mission to prove Barca wrong, because I think they pretty much said to him, "Hey mate, you're finished. We'll get someone else, or we'll play Griezmann there, or whatever." But I think he's on a mission now, like just to win the league and throw the finger up back at Barca. To be honest.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, and he'd be laughing with the big teeth that he has and all that. Crazy, Yeah, but like, I just found it so surprising. Like, he's the La Liga top scorer as well, and he's 34. And it's like he just hasn't missed a step. Like he's not like pacey anymore. Like he has lost a kind of a step in his pace, but when it comes to finishing, it's just Suarez. It's brilliant. No. Yeah, but Barcelona are on the decline. Messi's going to be out of contract. You know what I mean? He's going to go elsewhere now.
Going on my camera. Funny.
Camera.
Looks like he's falling asleep. Someone clip that. Oh, he's gone.
But yeah, like Barcelona, like Messi's gonna be out of contract. They owe 1.6 billion in debt. Like, can Barcelona actually decline as a club? Like, that's gonna be the last thing I'm gonna talk about, and it's gonna be a serious topic. Like, are Barcelona decline as a club?
I think they will, to be honest.
I think so as well.
I think so as well, because they don't trust. I think the ownership of Barcelona is not great. I think the players are getting old, like Busquets, PK, etc. They're getting old. But I can understand Messi wants to leave because they don't produce like young players. That's another thing they're missing. They're not producing young players. They
No.
keep playing the
Yeah, I
experience.
can disagree with that now. Sorry to interrupt, but
Okay.
go on. No,
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah, you go on.
no, I was just gonna say, right. I think they are producing young players. Like you've got the likes of Ansu Fati that's come into the team. You've also got
Mhm.
Pedri as well, who's another youngster that's gone into the first team. Like I think he's just giving them teams a chance. I just think that they're so reliant, like you said, on aging players. You know, players that should move on. You know that there shouldn't even be in
Mhm.
the team anymore. You know, and because they have spent 100 odd million on Usa Dembele, 140 million on Coutinho, and then what was it, 100 million on Griezmann. You know what I mean? That's like nearly
Yeah.
350 million on two players. And to think about like the money that they already owed before they spent that money,
Yeah.
it's just absolute warpath with Barcelona at the moment, owning that much money, and if they don't pay up, it could get to a point where they get administrated, they get deducted points, like
Easy,
everything like that, you know. And when that happens, and they
Mm.
don't get Europe and the revenue, the fan, like because Barcelona are, let's say, the second most supported club in world football, and when Messi goes, a lot of Barcelona's fan base goes as well because
yeah.
people love Barcelona because of Messi. They don't love it because it's Barcelona. They just love it because of Messi. So when
Yeah.
Messi
Mhm.
goes to a Man City and stuff like that, I reckon about 35 to 40% of those Barcelona fans are going to turn City fans.
We've
It's,
seen
it's
it with
true though.
Ronaldo going to Juventus. A lot of them jump ship as well. They're only there for him, so we could see a similar thing as you said with Barca.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And but like you were saying as well, actually, when you were talking about the Real Madrid and all, like if they get in Mbappe and stuff like that, they'll just fuck him away in the next few years. Like they won't give a fuck.
Yeah.
There was actually a video I saw when Hazard revealed himself as a Real Madrid player, and I actually thought it was quite funny. He revealed himself in the full stadium at the Bernabeu, and there was like a top section, right, of the Bernabeu that were chanting Mbappe. So when they were chanting Mbappe, nearly the whole stadium were chanting Mbappe because they were looking at it going, that's not the sign we wanted, Perez. Perez being the Real Madrid president. That's not the sign we wanted. We wanted Kylian Mbappe. Because Real Madrid fans look at Kylian Mbappe as the
Yeah.
heir to the throne for Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, he's the one that's going to challenge Ronaldo's numbers because of how quality he is at his age. You know? Like,
I think
what was
they
it?
come across as being very
Mm.
spoiled Madrid fans. They they don't get what they want. They wave the white hankies in the stadium and stuff, and
Yeah, like Barcelona fans as well.
yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely 100%. Like, I was gonna say something there, now it's gonna be head. Nah, fuck it. No, I'm not gonna go to that. I hate when it's in
I
your
think
head.
we're just under 3 minutes now until the deadline is over.
Yeah. But look, yeah, I'm happy with my signings, and yeah, I reckon a lot of clubs in the Premier League are going to be happy with their business, especially West Brom, and I reckon West Ham as well, because they got Benrahma as well on the Premier deal, and then they got Jesse Lingard, so they'll be happy with their business. They Arsenal will be as well because they got rid of Deadwood in Mustafi and Socrates.
One thing I noticed, Arsenal fans absolutely hate Mustafi. Like they hate him with a passion. They really don't like that.
Ciarán, when I heard, now the two of the lads were laughing, but when I heard Mustafi was linked to Liverpool, the first thing I done was this. I done that.
Over in 2.0.
No, that's why I goes, yeah, I'd rather Ben fucking Davidson from the Championship than Mustafi. That's how bad Mustafi is. Yeah, they're not getting relegated for fucking Schalke with their teammate Kolasinac. Yeah. But look, listen, it's a minute now until the deadline day is over. And yeah, we are gonna wrap up now in the next few minutes. So lads, Ciarán, thank you for a great stream. Ciarán, thank you for coming in and being a guest, and you know what I mean, being sound, and your avid Liverpool, you know, kind of IQ is brilliant, and hopefully get to see you in future streams.
Oh, thanks very much for having me on, lads.
And the
As I
window
said,
is officially closed.
Yeah, right. Go on there, Golly. Sorry.
without sounding cheesy, Ran, thanks very much for having us on. You're doing a brilliant
Ah,
job.
it's not cheesy.
It's not an easy thing to talk in front of the camera. Like it takes a lot of nerve and stuff to come on and show. So your audience will slowly grow as you go. And even seeing your last two videos both have like over 150 views or something. So that's like that says it all. So keep it going, lads. And yeah, best of luck.
Brilliant, Golly. Listen, the transfer window is going to be
Appreciate it.
shut now, basically. So we are going to end this stream, Golly. We're going to, you know, chat on DM. We're going to try and get some sort on your channel, you know, to make it fair. Because you came on to our channel, I'll come on to yours. We'll definitely talk about, you know, wrestling on your channel. And yeah, I'm going to end it here, lads. Thank you, everyone who's commented. Thank you, everybody who's, you know, watched the 2 hour deadline day special. I've been your host, J.R. Brown, with Ciarán Golly, unified channels with the links in the descriptions of all the socials. Our link is in the socials as well for Instagram. Luke, Shane, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye, lads.
Bye.